The time by Sagicor is
7 o'clock.
CVM News at 7 Wednesday, courtesy of.
Seize the next IPO opportunity seamlessly with the Sagicor e-Invest.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, JLP updates nation and Choose Jamaica campaign, demands peaceful campaign. Reaction to phase 4 of plastic ban, JPS customers bemoan rise in electricity bills. New digital portal aimed at making Jamaica's laws more accessible. And in sports, all female athletes to undergo SRY gene test before World Champs. From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7 for Wednesday, July 30, 2025. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Nika Lewis. As the governing Jamaica Labour Party offers an update on its Choose Jamaica campaign for the general elections, General Secretary Dr. Horace Chang says all prospective candidates have been warned to avoid the blood and war rhetoric and abstain from political vandalism throughout the season. The party shared a record of its achievements while insisting there are even more reasons for Jamaicans, for the voters, to choose Jamaica. Having published its record of achievements only hours prior, the Jamaica Labour Party called a media briefing where it formally updated the nation on its Choose Jamaica general election campaign headed by Dr. Christopher Tufton. General Secretary Dr. Horace Chang exuded confidence that once the balance sheets have been opened, Jamaicans will choose Jamaica.
I'm confident Jamaican people will check and come to the right answer. In terms of the campaign leadership, Dr. Tufton is head of the campaign committee and a number of subcommittees which is outlined, and the Secretariat continues to play an active role. Work that is myself, the 4 deputy general secretaries, and the party leader and the party chairman, which form the essential core of the party administration. So that the campaign evolves around that team. The communication team is headed by Senator Abkafis Henley and Minister Dana Morris Dixon.
Dr. Tufton, chairman of the campaign committee, shared a glimpse of what's to be expected.
We will have a lot more to say. Others have been going around the country, taking the opportunity to speak, which is their right so to do in our democracy, making accusation, innuendos. There's a lot of rumors. There's a lot of mudslinging. That's not our modus operandi. That's not the mood, the tone that we wish for this campaign. And as chairman, I certainly will play my part as part of the team to push for a campaign based on issues, a campaign that will be fought by all of us at the level of the constituencies, at the level of the spokespersons, and at the level of the party. But ultimately, it is a campaign that is asking for the support of Jamaicans to carry on the work that we have clearly already done.
He insists more Jamaicans feel safe now when compared to years past under the PNP's leadership.
A lot had to be done to get us to this point, and we are prepared to debate that. But the reality is more Jamaicans feel safer than they ever did, and certainly prior to the end of 2015 when the others were in office. And we intend to campaign on that record, and we are prepared to challenge anyone on that achievement.
And although there's no clear timeline as to when a manifesto will be presented, St. Catherine Northeast MP and event host Kerencia Morrison says it's critical they share the party's achievements.
The books must reflect, the story must be told, that under this Jamaica Labour Party-led administration, we have achieved more than any other government in the history of this country. Generations of Jamaicans must know what this Jamaica Labour Party has done for them and their children.
And Dr. Chang had stern words for the prospective candidates, some of whom have been embroiled in political disputes over political poster removals and other paraphernalias. As Jamaica continues to anticipate Decision 2025, the country pauses to commemorate the celebration of emancipation and its 63rd anniversary of independence. However, bold claims from the ruling political party has raised questions on the prospective budget for these celebrations from the opposition. We take a look now with Crystal Williams. We apologize for the audio absence. However, the general secretaries of the two main political parties were called to a meeting by the political ombudsman earlier today, where, among other things, the recent incidents of tearing down of political campaign signs were discussed. Both the JLP and the PNP have agreed that the unauthorized removal of signs, posters, billboards, as well as other instances of destruction of property are direct violation of that right and is counterproductive for our democracy. They also unreservedly reject violence and intimidation in any form and appeal to all Jamaicans to join in restoring calm and civility to the campaign process ahead of the general election. The parties have also committed to call on their supporters to maintain respect for each other and respect of private property. Now, the meeting was very timely based on the latest saga coming out of Manchester. And that saw the politicians already taking a stand in the direction to be civil. We hear more from Curlin Brown.
Vote is the most prevalent four-letter word plastered in ideal spots in every parish now, affixed in either green for the governing Andrew Holness-led Jamaica Labour Party or orange for the Mark Golding opposition People's National Party. The other distinction happens to be the names and images of the individuals from either side vying for the votes as well in the constituencies. Unfortunately, the complaints continue to mount about the destruction of property. Instead of flying high like the rest of her poster board, Rhoda Moy Crawford in Manchester Central claiming it's not the first, but in this case, the morning after it was erected, it was destroyed.
And I am again calling on my opponent to rein in his supporters and to publicly condemn these actions.
Well, her appeal did not fall by the wayside as the PNP candidate in response writes, quote, I, Donovan Mitchell, hereby do condemn it and appeal to both sides to cease and desist this creeping deterioration in our nation. He also notes our constituents are neighbours and friends who enjoy a level of cordiality and respect for each other's views, despite political affiliations. My campaign has always encouraged civility and tolerance, as these recent events of destruction of campaign materials by either party must be condemned, end quote. At least there seems to be no personal opposition on a civil style of campaigning in the Crawford-Mitchell battle based on their pronouncements.
These actions do not reflect the position of residents, constituents and voters. And I am again calling on my opponent to rein in his supporters and to publicly condemn these actions. We don't want this kind of politics and campaigning in Manchester Central. I have always promoted and have run very clean campaign. My campaign activities, my discharge of my duties as Member of Parliament has always been to respond to the needs of all my constituents. This is not the politics I practice or represent.
The political scene in Mandeville is intensifying as People's National Party caretaker for Manchester Central, Donovan Mitchell, denies claims of achievement made by his political counterpart. This as he and his political opponent, Member of Parliament Rhoda Moy Crawford, spoke on CVM's lead story last evening. Kevin Black reports.
That once the name Rhoda Moy Crawford appears on that ballot, I will be victorious.
Member of Parliament for Manchester Central, Rhoda Moy Crawford, is confident she'll secure a second term as MP, insisting the PNP are unable to deliver. This as she remains unfazed by the opposition's efforts to claim her political seat. Crawford was a guest on CVM's Lead Story Prime on Tuesday.
In 2024, the candidates of the PNP, they went into the divisions. They promised the constituents pie in the sky. They have not been able to deliver. And there's growing frustration among constituents in Manchester Central regarding the level of representation that they have seen from the PNP councillors. And the other thing that is a plus for me is that constituents in Manchester Central, they have become frightened by what happened in 2024. And persons, if you come in Manchester Central, you will feel and see the energy on the ground. Persons have expressed, I have an army of 1,000 party workers across the 4 divisions, and they are standing with me, they're lifting me tall, and I have very, very good support from the business community in the constituency and the church groups.
In pointing out how well she's been catering to the older demographic, Crawford highlighted numerous contributions for which not just the seniors are grateful, but their children too.
First of all, the road infrastructure. I've been able to repair more than 37 roads in less than 5 years. So persons in that age group, they're very appreciative of the work that I have done with the road network. Just a few months ago, we broke ground for the Mount Nelson development, which will offer almost 1,800 housing solutions. Over the last 4+ years, I've spent $30 million on education, because had it not been for education, I couldn't be sitting here.
On the other end of the spectrum, her opponent, People's National Party caretaker for Manchester Central, Mayor Donovan Mitchell, boasted of his edge, insisting he offers a higher quality of representation and availability than his counterpart. He also refuted Crawford's list of improvements, highlighting concerns about the road infrastructure.
She's not truthful in saying that she has done for these roads, because simply, and some of those roads have been done either by the municipality or by various councillors in the various districts. I will tell you, because I know how things go. That's why I'm meeting with the community, because we are going to be doing a little road patching in that community, or a little piece of road in there. And I made sure I told the entire community, because there's a thing that she does, is that as soon as the road is finished, she takes pictures and posts them as if she has done them.
Both of these aspirants intend to figuratively squash the other like an ant as they go head-to-head in the upcoming elections. Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
There's more CVM News at 7 in a moment.
Generation brings new hopes and ambitions. For 55 years, Sagicor has been helping Jamaicans to realize their dreams. As we celebrate our past, we look forward to continuing that legacy of trust, providing support and financial solutions for the next generation to succeed. Sagicor, building trust, one generation at a time.
Remix the summer with Digicel. 100 lucky winners win $100,000 each, plus surprises all summer. To enter, buy a SIM, 7-day plan or higher. Switch to Digicel. Be an active postpaid or Digicel Plus customer, or receive US $15 or more from abroad. Gift a friend a plan. They could win $25,000. Remix the summer with Digicel. Authorized under Section 58 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Promo ends September 15, 2025. Conditions apply. Visit DigicelJamaica.com for more info. Digicel, better connected this summer.
Save when you charge your electric vehicle with JPS. It's even more affordable than gas. Our Charge and Go network offers the fastest electric vehicle chargers, so you can power up in as little as 30 minutes. With over 39 charging points island-wide, you'll always find a convenient place place to shop, eat, work, or relax while you recharge. The Charge Lab app and Charge and Go RFID card make it easy to pay and track your charge right from your phone. Start Charge. Learn more at jps.com/charge and go.
Thanks so much for staying with us. Jamaica is pushing ahead with the latest phase of its national single-use plastic ban, but not everyone is still fully on board. Government officials say the policy is essential to protect the environment, while some consumers are worried about the cost and practicality of alternatives. Raymond Morrison has the details.
Jamaica's war on plastic is in its final stage. The government's Phase 4 ban targets single-use plastic food containers and personal care products that contain microplastics. The call was made by Gillian Guthrie, Chief Technical Director of Development Planning, Environment Policy and Management in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, during a recent GIS think tank. And the National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, claims the ban is working. It reports that banned plastics now make up 0.03% of waste at disposal facilities. But online in the comment section, the reviews have been mixed, from applauding the initiative to calling it politically engineered and beyond. Tanya Clark said, "Plastic-free sound good, but make sure people can afford the alternatives too." And Ilian Francis commented, "If the plastic dem could vote, half of them would listen faster." Malik Lewis remarked, "Una love chat climate, but can't leave the plastic bag them alone." Meanwhile, Anya Phillips wrote, "Paper straw mash up my drink, but still better than mash up the sea." Enforcement will be critical. Businesses found using banned plastics face up to $5 million for individuals and $10 million for companies. Government officials say the goal is simple: to safeguard human health, protect marine life, and create a cleaner, greener Jamaica. Raymond Morrison, CVM News.
An appeal to Jamaicans this evening to be mindful of their electricity use amid the sweltering summer heat. The warning comes from the Jamaica Public Service Company, JPS, as concerns grow over a sharp spike in electricity bills island-wide. Amoy Harriet has the details.
It's summer in Jamaica, and for many this means longer days and shorter nights, a rise in temperatures, and a spike in electricity bills.
Even though I haven't received the current bill yet, but for July, I'm just anticipating a higher bill. It's like clockwork. Every summer, the bills go up.
CVM News has received reports from some Jamaica Public Service JPS customers who say the increase in their bills can't be accounted for.
You get 30 one at a time, and you go wait for 17. I mean, I use nothing new.
We put their issue to Media and Public Relations Manager at the JPS, Audrey Williams. She says the biggest culprit is the heat.
Just week before last, Tuesday on July 15, we had the highest demand for electricity since the start of the year, and that was because it was so hot. So demand rose to 670 megawatts. And just to give you a sense of context, typically peak demand is a little over 600 megawatts, 600 and something, 20, 30. This was 670 because it was so hot, and people are using their fans, people are using their air conditioning units.
Of note, Ms. Williams says certain appliances consume more electricity than others.
Your fridge can account for as much as 60% and even more, 60% of your whole bill, your fridge. So it's really important to make sure that your fridge is operating efficiently, that the rubbers are really sticking as they ought to make sure that there's no air leaking out, that you're not going in and out of the fridge, and that your fridge is not an old fridge, meaning it's not over 5 or 7 years old.
And different brands also attract different costs.
Your ceiling fan and somebody else's ceiling fan might not necessarily use the same amount of electricity. It might burn more or less efficiently than somebody else's. So you can't say, but they have a fan, I have a fan, I don't understand. They might have a more efficient fan than you. It all depends. And for a fact, we have seen it for ourselves in the company, where we have done investigations for persons and recognize that some brands are more efficient than others.
Our reporter Amoy Harriet joins us live to share some more important information coming out of that interview with Audrey Williams. Amoy.
Thanks, Nika. Well, quite a lot, as you mentioned, came out of that interview that I had with Miss Williams, and I felt it necessary to kind of share some tips for managing the heat and doing so efficiently, with our viewers this evening. And I want to mention, Miss Williams had discussed in the story where our refrigerator can account for up to 60% of the electricity we use every single month, Nika. And she indicated that especially during, the summer time where
constantly opening and
right,
closing.
and this is a factor because what happens on a daily basis is that we have persons who are frequently going in and out of the fridge on a day-to-day basis. You have your kids at home or parents who are at home as well, and because of the heat, there's this need to constantly go in. We want ice, we want water. So what she's suggesting for families is that we make use of more igloos during the daytime. So this cuts down the amount of time we feel the need to go inside and out of the fridge. And another appliance that she mentioned,
the fan?
A lot of customers are using this summertime. You're kind of there.
The
air
AC.
Conditioning units, Nika. And on average, this one shocked me. On average, let's say you use the AC for about 6 hours each day. Can you briefly, an estimate about how much this alone can cost per month?
6,000.
A whopping $12,000, near $12,000. And this is according to data from the JPS Miss Williams had shared earlier today. And viewers, she's suggesting using the ACs for a short time. So once the room that you're in is cool, you want to turn off the AC and switch to your fan and use that, because that consumes less electricity. Now, these are just a few energy saving tips. There are a lot more, of course, Nika, that we can do to manage the heat, but to do so without breaking our pockets.
Boy. Useful information. Thank you so much, Amoy. And so, how much do you know about the term statelessness? Well, Curlin Brown continues the series on lawfully deported, with a gentleman in that position without that missing important status.
So here he is in Jamaica after being born in Germany to a Kenyan mother and a naturalized American father who was born in Jamaica. So what does that make him? As far as he knows, he's an American born abroad. However, when he tried to find a safe home a week before, as he puts it, I was snatched up, kidnapped and deported.
I called all the consulates, the Jamaican consulate, the German consulate, and the Kenyan consulate. All three of them told me I'm not a citizen or national.
This is not the first case for this forensic social worker specializing in mitigation and sentencing consultant Carmita Alberis, involving children born on an army base in Germany to a naturalized parent.
The base there is not a part of the United States, and Germany does not have birthright citizenship. So being born in Germany does not make you a citizen unless your parents are citizens.
Bluntly put, it boils down to misunderstanding.
There is the assumption, a lot of people assume that if you're born on the base, you automatically get citizenship, American citizenship. But it has proven not to be the case unless certain papers are filed. And so, it is a lack of knowledge for persons, especially, individuals who may not be American citizens and may not be aware of this. And so they will have a child, and then because these papers were not filed, they lose out on being citizen, and then they become stateless, such as the gentleman here. He was declared stateless.
The situation is even more intense now, she explains.
There has been a ramped up of deportations of individuals who had no idea that they would be deported because they had been living, they had been given status and been living in the United States and having to report, periodically, maybe it's once a year or whatever, working, doing fine. And then because of the mass deportation, they have found themselves picked up by ICE and sent to their respective countries.
To a third country. It's arbitrary, she adds, with no absolute rhyme or reason to the situation.
And I see it as an injustice, and I hope that something will be done for individuals such as he, who come to a country that they have absolutely no connection to.
Curlin Brown, CVM News.
With Haiti in the grip of chaos and many seeking refuge, there's growing debate in Jamaica about whether Haitians should receive visa-free access to the island. At least one human rights lawyer told our newsroom that this could help regulate and better manage Haitian immigration. Details in this report.
It's been just over 4 years since gangs took full control of Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince. Since then, a record 1.3 million people have fled their homes and are now internally displaced, with hundreds of thousands others fleeing the country in search of safety. But if current immigration laws and border policies are anything to go by, many countries have seemingly closed their doors to Haitians. According to a passport rankings report from British consulting firm Henley & Partners, with data from the International Air Transport Association, only 2 CARICOM countries currently allow Haitians to enter their territories without visas. Now, those countries, Grenada and Montserrat, are among 15 countries around the entire world who allow visa-free access to Haitians, 5 less than what obtained last year.
Can we speak about solidarity if, at Haiti's darkest hour, we are excluding them not only from this idea of the sense of belonging to which they're entitled in CARICOM, but of protections under the law, whether it's the regional treaty or even our own constitution?
We apologize for the absence of the audio. We'll get back to that story later on if possible. But the Treasure Beach Food, Rum and Reggae Festival is back for its second staging this November with 3 days of cuisine, music and culture that celebrate the rich heritage of Jamaica's South Coast. Raymond Morrison has the details.
Treasure Beach in St. Elizabeth is preparing to turn up the flavor, the rhythm, and the community spirit as the Treasure Beach Food, Rum and Reggae Festival makes its highly anticipated return from November 7 to 9. After a successful launch in 2023, the 3-day celebration is back with even more, from live performances by legendary reggae artists to culinary showcases. The event's co-director Jason Hensel shared with CVM News that he is pleased to deliver the event as a cultural highlight for the parish.
You know, we started this festival back in 2023, and it was a way to really highlight St. Elizabeth being the breadbasket of the country, all of our thousands of hardworking farmers across the parish. So we're known for our food. We're known, of course, for rum because we have the largest rum factory in the Caribbean. And then, of course, reggae is just synonymous with Jamaica. So we want this to be a festival that resonates with both Jamaicans, the diaspora, and foreigners.
The Jamaica Tourist Board, JTB, is now an official partner, bringing new energy and reach to a festival that promises to attract locals, cultural tourists, and members of the diaspora. And the co-festival director Gregory Wright says the goal is to create a staple event that spotlights the true spirit of Treasure Beach and strengthens Jamaica's cultural tourism brand, with theme nights of food and rum pairings, immersive cultural activities, and reggae legends taking the stage. Organizers say the weekend will be an unforgettable celebration of community, creativity, and culture. Raymond Morrison, CVM News.
More CVM News at 7 in a moment.
Strength, smarts. Meet Jetor, the SUV that's changing the game in Jamaica. It's family first, tech smart, and road ready for all your adventures. Voice activation? Check. Next level safety? Absolutely. Trust? Built in. Jetor is here and it's ready for every journey. Call 888-4JETOR and visit our showrooms island-wide today.
Remix the summer with Digicel. 100 lucky winners win $100,000 each, plus surprises all summer. To enter, buy a SIM, 7-day plan or higher, switch to Digicel. Be an active postpaid or Digicel Plus customer, or receive US $15 or more from abroad. Gift a friend a plan. They could win $25,000. Remix the summer with Digicel. Authorized under Section 58 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Promo ends September 15, 2025. Conditions apply. Visit DigicelJamaica.com for more info. Digicel, better connected this summer.
50 years of finger-licking good memories, yeah.
The time by KFC is
7:30.
Every generation brings new hopes and ambitions. For 55 years, Sagicor has been helping Jamaicans to realize their dreams. As we celebrate our past, we look forward to continuing that legacy of trust, providing support and financial solutions for the next generation to succeed. Sagicor, building trust, one generation at a time.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Jordan Fort joins us for a quick look ahead to sports.
Well, Nika, imagine coming to work and you're asked to prove that you're actually a female before being identified as such when coming to work. Well, Jamaica's athletes will have to do that before the World Athletics Championships. Of course, athletes wanting to compete in the female category, they'll have to prove their eligibility by conducting an SRY test. I'll give you more in sports about that. Plus, we are talking about stakeholders continuing to react to the proposed sale of Caymanas Park. Lots of stakeholders do not want Caymanas Park sold to Supreme Ventures Limited or any other corporate entity for that matter. And Romelda Aiken-George, a towering figure in Jamaica's netball, deciding to retire from the Suncorp Super Netball League. Will it have an impact on her international career? We find out that in sports.
All right, there you have it. It's now time for regional and international news.
We begin with news in the region. A major step forward in regional health cooperation was taken recently as CARICOM and the Pan American Health Organization launched a transformative health strategy designed to reshape the future of healthcare across the Caribbean. DBS Television has more.
Speaking at the signing of the PAHO-CARICOM Joint Sub-Regional Cooperation Strategy 2025 to 2029 in Guyana, CARICOM Secretary General Dr. Carla Barnett emphasized that the new strategy builds on the region's long-standing commitment to public health. She highlighted past initiatives like the Port of Spain Declaration on Non-Communicable Diseases and the Pan-Caribbean Partnership Against HIV/AIDS as proof that CARICOM has always prioritized health.
When we say health is important and it's a priority, it is those projects, those undertakings that we do as a community with the support of PAHO and with the leadership of CARFA in many instances that are critical in ensuring that we do prioritize our health.
The strategy, which runs from 2025 to 2029, outlines 5 priority areas, which include strengthening primary health care, climate resilience, addressing NCDs and mental health, combating communicable diseases, and mobilizing resources.
And in international news, tsunami waves hit parts of Russia, Japan and the United States after a massive earthquake off the Russian coast, with alerts issued for dozens of other countries, including the Philippines and Ecuador. Al Jazeera has that report.
This was a major earthquake by any standards, the biggest to strike off the coast of Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula since the middle of the last century. It created a tsunami wave that flooded nearby coastal areas, including the port of Severokurilsk.
A tsunami is the entire ocean column that is being lifted up above that high tide level there because of that extreme movement of the Earth's crust with the earthquake there. So this is a significant planetary event that we've just witnessed. And when you have a wind wave or a surf wave, you think of that at the beach and that nice gentle sound there at the coast. This isn't what this is. This is an ocean flood.
As a safety precaution, all passengers and airport staff
It prompted tsunami warnings across the Pacific, as far as the western coasts of North and South America, while authorities in the central Pacific islands of Hawaii put in place emergency measures.
Our number one priority is life safety, and so right now it's an easy thing. Get away from the beaches, get inland, and get upward.
Given its proximity to the epicenter, Japan experienced extensive disruption. Coastal areas of the northern island of Hokkaido and the Pacific coast of the main Honshu island were put under evacuation orders, with people told to seek safety on higher ground or in the top floors of the nearest large buildings. The warnings remained in place while tsunami waves of more than a meter high reached Japan's shores. The worst tsunami in recent memory was the so-called Great...
We take a quick break, but before that, a look at your weather report.
The weather report is brought to you by
Reduxin. More than vitamin C, it's from Bayer.
weather report was brought to you by
Reduxin. More than vitamin C, it's from Bayer.
From politics to global events, from social issues to breaking news, Lead Story Prime dives deeper, cuts through the noise, and uncovers the stories that shape your world. Join us every Tuesday at 8 p.m. for Lead Story Prime with me, George Davis, for an hour of incisive analysis, expert interviews, and unparalleled coverage of the issues you care about. Lead Story Prime, your front row seat to the most compelling discussions. Lead Story Prime, where the truth comes first. Only on CVM TV.
This iconic Jamaican has graced many a stage. From Broadway to TV to film, it's safe to say her star shines very bright. She is
the Honorable Dr. Cheryl Lee Ralph, Order of Jamaica. I love that so much. Yes.
What she said.
I was literally moved to tears